Hey everyone, welcome back to another Codex review. As always, my name is Jay. In this video I'm going to bring up and talk about the new Space Marine Codex out for pre-order this weekend. It is a beast of a codex. Look at that. It's like the size of the rulebook. Heavy. Yes. And in this video I'm going to talk about just number one, the changes to the codex style. I really like it. It's a new format and I really enjoy it. Really cool. Some of the big changes to the rulebook. The winners, the losers, I'm not going to go over all the points costs and all that stuff. I just don't have the 3 hours needed to cover every model. And I'll show why. It's just there's so many, it's such a huge codex filled with models and so many different versions of the same thing. Like take a captain, and then there's a captain in Phobos armor, and a captain in Primaris armor, and a captain on a bike, and so... yeah, I'm just going to go over some of the rules costs, what I really think about it. Yes, so first of all, let's start off with the new style. I love this new style of codex. It looks amazing, the pictures are amazing, but the way that they've organized it is really well done. There's a glossary at the end with all the definitions and all the special rules, which is great because if you need to remember a rule, you can just flip over to the glossary and most of the rules are in there. Number two. As with the previous codices, it's all in power levels for each unit. But at the very end of the codex is points values. And literally it's really cool. Each model's in there in alphabetical order and it shows the model, the cost per model, as well as all the potential upgrades right underneath it with their associated costs as well. And so it's a really easy way to really build a quick army list with actual points. If you don't want to use the app or some builder, it's a great way of actually figuring out the points costs of these models. It's really cool. The pictures are great. The way that this codex is organized is fantastic. And what's really cool is they have Crusade details. There's Crusade rules, Crusade relics. There's army rules, and as I said, relics as well. Warlord traits as always. Battleforge rules, which are really cool. They're upgrades, which I'll go after, which I'll go and discuss after as well. But it's a really cool style. As I said, the first half is basically is as usual fluff, and then the rule, and the stories behind this, and then the rules. And I said, I really think it's a really cool way that they broke it down. It's really effective, really organized, really efficient. It's nice. I really like it. Overall, 2 thumbs up for this new style. Now let's actually talk about the codex. This is an insane codex. Those of you who've been hearing about the rules for the last week or so, this is a powerful codex. Space Marines are powerful. They're going to be, basically, if you're a tournament player, you're either playing Space Marines or designing your list against Space Marines. And if you can't beat a Space Marine army, don't bring it to a tournament. Because Space Marines are powerful. This is going to be a very powerful, strong codex. And I'm kind of curious what Games Workshop is going to do in the future to balance the other codices, because these guys are just beyond survivable. They are just insanely survivable. And this new edition is all about just, getting objectives, right? The primary is, number 1, do you have 1 or more objectives? Number 2, do you have 2 or more objectives? Number 3, do you have more objectives than your opponent? And so the whole goal is to park your guys on objectives and survive. And that is what the Space Marines can do. And they can also steal objectives from your opponent because of the amount of troops that are going to be really survivable that they can bring. It is just scary. Some of the big changes to this codex. Number 1, of course, all normal Marines have 2 wounds. That is beyond scary. So tactical Marines, assault Marines, Devastator Marines have 2 wounds. Bikers, more than 2, right? Like that is just so just scary. That is so crazy of what you get. And bike squads are now 3 wounds each. 3 wounds. The survivability of a Space Marine now is just nuts. Terminators have 3 wounds now. 3 wound Terminators. I can't wait for the Grey Knights to pick up these rules. It's insane. You will not be able to blow away a squad with bolter fire, right? Take a Terminator. To kill a Terminator via bolter fire, which is, let's say, no AP, you have to get 18 wounds to kill 1 Terminator on average. So that's 36 hits. So if Space Marines are firing on other Terminators, it'd be 54 shots to get 36 hits, 18 wounds to kill 1 Terminator. Imagine firing 54 shots to kill 1 Terminator. And even Space Marines are incredibly survivable, especially the fact that they can sit in terrain. So if they sat in terrain, they can get a 2-up armor save with 2 wounds, right? Failing 1 in every 6 wounds. It's going to take 12 wounds to kill 1 Space Marine. That's just nuts, right? That's 24 hits. Assuming a 3-up to hit, 36 shots to kill 1 Space Marine. That's nuts. It's so crazy how powerfully survivable these guys are going to be. So basically, you can't... the thing is about Space Marines, obviously, is they can flood you with you know... Space Marine versus Space Marine would be interesting. Because it's a lot of, like, bolter fire. And bolter fire is not going to be very successful against Space Marines. You basically have to stack some really heavy-hitting shots to take out those Terminators. Because otherwise, the Terminators are just going to camp on an objective. And you will not be able to deal with them, you know? And even with the fact that 3 wounds versus 2 is still huge, because even if you get off, you know, a las cannon shot, they still have a 5-up invulnerable save, or a 4-up cover, depending on, you know, or potentially a 4-up cover, depending on what they're up against. 5-up invulnerable save at worst, and then you have to roll a 3-up to kill them on the dice. So it's scary. Very scary how survivable this army will be. And I like it, and also I don't like it. Everything in this codex is solid, other than, you know, some things got nerfed, obviously. There's some points increases and some point changes and different things. But that means everyone can field biker squads that are going to be incredibly survivable and fast and able to grab objectives. Assault Marines are just going to be nasty with their jump packs, able to fly across terrain and land things. Again, 2-wound Assault Marines. 2-wound Devastator Squads. That's hilarious, right? You fill them with las cannons and they're not going anywhere, right? 2 wounds is just so much better than 1 wound. Yeah, makes them so much more survivable. So that alone is the biggest impact. That is going to make... Now, of course, things got more expensive. But the amount of points relative to the other codices is still small. You know, you think of how many Orc Boys you get for a Space Marine, and the survivability of a Space Marine that's 2 wounds. It's nuts. Now, GW obviously did this so that they didn't, you know, I honestly figured that they were the tactical Marines of the past. So I figured they were going the way of, you know, they're going by the wayside because, you know, Primaris Marines are the new thing. And now GW is like, hey, now that you've filled your army with these Primaris Marines, you can actually bring back the old guys, and they're just as good, basically. Slightly cheaper, less attacks, slightly weaker war gear, but just as good. Right? So, it's insane. It's just, it's crazy. The next big thing, of course, in the Codex, is the word core. Core. So, one of the big nerfs to the Codex is that, again, the main tactical strategy of the win-at-all-cost gamers is you buy, you know, 3 Repulsor Executioners, you surround them, you know, you keep a captain or a, you know, company master in, you know, in between them, give them rerolls, they fire insanely. Games Workshop has kind of realized that. It doesn't make any sense thematically, and it's just beyond cheesy. So they've decided to incorporate the word core. And core typically applies to most infantry, other than, you know, a couple models like Centurions don't have core. But now, a lot of the auras only affect core units, right? Like take the captain. The captain has Rights of Battle, Aura. While a friendly Chapter Core unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. Core, right? And as I said, it's primarily infantry. That being said, it's almost all infantry. So it's still good for, Tactical Marines, Primaris Marines, Devastators, Assault Marines. It's pretty much all infantry except most of the other characters know. Most of the HQs know. Devastator and Assault Centurions know. Pretty much everyone else. Most other infantry are core. But what this does do is it's nice because it doesn't make a captain just giving rerolls to everyone else and doesn't give them to themselves. Because they're not core. Captains aren't core. No, they're not core. So they don't even get their own abilities, which is good. Because really, captains, giving themselves reroll 1s with their 2-ups to hit anyway was kind of beyond broken. So that's good. That's going to be a way of nerfing these conga lines. And it's really annoying, the auras in this edition, I find, because it's just you conga line everyone to a central character who buffs everyone. This is going to kind of nerf that to an extent, right? It's because now it still just has to be core. The other big change in this codex is pretty much every vehicle, other than a couple, so almost all tanks, have actually wound brackets, which is cool. One of the things that's going to really swing in this codex is now that Marines are good, and Assault Marines are good, Tactical Marines are good, the need for Rhinos and Razorbacks is going to come back. And Drop Pods, right? They're all going to come back because they've become infinitely better. Now that you can take a squad of 5 Tactical Marines with 10 wounds now, put them in a Razorback, give it, Twin Heavy Bolter, Twin Las Cannon, and you've got some nastiness that can drive around stealing objectives and survive. So now pretty much all vehicles have, other than Landspeeder Storms, Drop Pods, have brackets, which is good. The top bracket is typically what they used to be. The new ones, but now they get significantly more nerfed when they get wounds off, which is good. It's balanced, right? Like a Rhino now, if it has 1 to 2 wounds remaining, only gets to move 3 inches. Only has a ballistic skill of 5 up. Especially a Razorback, same thing. Ballistic skill 5 up, can only move 3 inches. This is pretty good because, again, if not, just they'd be so powerful and so survivable. I think that's pretty fair, if you don't mind me asking. Interesting thing about this codex is there are no named characters in this codex. So obviously the supplements are still effective because, if you want to run Lysander, you still have to have the Imperial Fists one. If you want to run, if you want to run, I was going to say Drago. He's Grey Knights, of course. But basically any character, right? Pedro Cantor, you got to run, Imperial Fists one. The supplement, right? You just got to choose the supplement ahead of time and go from there. You want to run Khan, you have to have the White Scars supplement, and so forth. Those are the big changes. Other things, they have some really great, they have the Litanies of Battle, there's Chapter Prove rules, there's a couple psychic powers. But as I said, it was really cool. Let's start off with this one. This is a cool new feature. The chapter tactics are mostly pretty much all the same as before, just more intentionally better worded. So like the Imperial Fist one, it used to ignore cover. Now it just ignores light cover. When a ranged attack is made against a model in cover, it ignores light cover. There's also what's called Chapter Command in this codex. So if your army is Battleforged, and includes any Adeptus Astartes detachments, excluding auxiliary support, super heavy auxiliary, or fortification network detachments. When you muster your army, you can upgrade any of the following Adeptus Astartes character units in your army: Captain, Chaplain, Librarian, Tech Marine, Apothecary, Ancient, and Company Champion. Each time you upgrade one of the aforementioned units, its power rating is increased, as shown in the table. And if you're playing a match game or a game that uses points limits, then the points value is also increased accordingly. there's a chart. Each time you upgrade a unit, it gains a new keyword as shown in the chapter command keyword column. So it's pretty cool. So if you increase a captain, you can upgrade a captain to a chapter master. It's +2 power or +40 points. A chaplain becomes Master of Sanctity for +25. Tech Marine +20, Master of the Forge. Librarian becomes a Chief Librarian for +25. Apothecary becomes a Chief Apothecary +15. Ancient, Chapter Ancient +20. Company Champion, Chapter Champion +15. And for most of them, there are versions of what we've seen in previous codices, but not as strong. For example, the Chapter Master used to be reroll all hits for anybody who, all the hit rolls for anybody within 6 inches. Now it's just at the start, it's in your command phase, select one friendly core or chapter or character unit within 6 inches. Until the start of your next command phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, it can reroll the hit roll. You know, it has access to some relics as well, a warlord trait, and you can choose it as well. You know, it's pretty cool stuff. And as I said, you can upgrade, you know, Master of Sanctity, Master of the Forge, Chief Librarian, Chief Apothecary, Chapter Ancient, Chapter Champion. And it's just cool stuff. Each one gets, you know, a relic. It gives them a couple powers. It's good. It gives you some customizability. Yeah. And there's some stratagems. There's tons of stratagems. I'm not going to go over all. Unfortunately, this codex, to actually dive deep into this codex would take like 3 hours. And I'm just going to make a pretty concise video of my thoughts. Obviously, tons of people are going to do videos on this series as well. And you can go accordingly. Like, I'm just trying to go with, you know, overall feel. But yes, so as I said, so let's go over a few points cost, as I said, because the main thing is, of course, Primaris Marines are going to get compared to Tactical Marines and vice versa. So take it like a normal Intercessor Squad, right? Intercessor Squad is 20 points per model, but a Tactical Squad is 18 points per model. So it's 2 points less, 10% less. You get same two wounds, same armor save, slightly less attacks, right? Only 1 base attack versus 2, and slightly weaker war gear base, but you can upgrade some war gear as well. So it creates a nice trade-off. And as I mentioned, this codex is just filled with various versions of the same thing. So it's like Primaris Captain, Captain, Captain in Phobos armor, Captain in Gravis armor, Captain in Terminator armor, Captain. So there are 6 captains that you can choose from. Cool. They have various stat lines, but they're all pretty much, you know, 6-inch movement or 5-inch movement. Weapon skill plus skill 2, 4, strength 4, toughness 5, depending on which version, or toughness 4. Usually 6 wounds or 7 wounds if they're like Mastercraft Heavy Bolter Rifle. There's one of them. There's, yeah, you know, like as I said, various of the same combinations. About 5 attacks each. There's a 9, 3 up save, or 2 up save. They're in Terminator armor. Cool. And then there's, Captain on Bike as well. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 captains. Primaris Lieutenant. Lieutenant in Reaver armor. Lieutenant in Phobos armor. Primaris Librarian. Librarian in Phobos armor. Librarian in Terminator armor. Primaris Chaplain. Primaris Chaplain on Bike. Chaplain in Terminator armor. Chaplain. Primaris Tech Marine. Tech Marine. The main, as I said, it's all the same, right? Look at, it's cool. There's, for the troops, is actually the really, a lot of the new debate will happen. But there's the Intercessor Squad, the Assault Intercessors, which just came out in the new box set, the Heavy Intercessor Squad. So this is actually one of the cool new things. So Intercessors used to have one of 3 guns, right, that you could take. There was the bolt rifle, the Stalker bolt rifle, or the heavy bolt rifle. Now, if you wanted to take the Stalker or the bolt rifle, that's considered the Intercessor Squad, and as I mentioned, they're 20 points per model. Plus, you know, up weapons and all that stuff. Let me see if there's an actual squad point for... No. But if they want to take the heavy version, so the heavy bolt rifle, there's now a Heavy Intercessor Squad. And so for the Heavy Intercessor Squad, it is a troop's choice. They are core. Yep, they're core. But they're 28 points per model. So Games Workshop kind of realized that the heavy versions were kind of better than the other versions, so they made them more, right? And like a heavy bolt rifle is rapid fire 1, 36 inch range, strength 5, AP minus 1, 1. So cool stuff. They also heavy bolters or Hellstorm bolt rifles or Hellstorm heavy bolters. That's pretty cool. So there's 7 power rating, 28 points of model. That's heavy. There's also Assault Intercessors, as I mentioned. Assault Intercessors are 19 points of model. So they're a good intermediate between tacticals and Intercessors. Infiltrator Squad. Infiltrator Squad is 24 points a model. Intercessor Squad, which is 21 points a model. Tactical Squad, 18 as I mentioned. Company Champion is elites. Now the one thing I thought was weird, I just kind of thought about this too, Scouts. Are Scouts not troops anymore? Nope. Where did Scouts go? I was just kind of reading this and I thought, weird. Yeah, Scouts are now elite. Weird. That's a big change. So Scouts are now elite. That's changed the codex. The elite squad has a Scout Squad. Company Champion. So that's cool. So no more Scouts in the Troops Choice. So that's another good... It forces players to not be able to spam the heavy hitting stuff and just take min squads of Scouts. Can't take that anymore. I guess you take min squads of Space Marines. Scouts are not 2 wounds each. They still cap with their 1 wounds. And Scouts are 14 points a model. There's Primaris Apothecary, Company Ancient, Primaris Ancient, Blade Guard Ancient, right? We got the new ones. An Ancient and Terminator Armor. Veteran Intercessor Squad. That's the other thing. So you can take a Veteran Intercessor Squad. Cool. So Veteran Intercessor Squads are 22 points a model. But you can give them auto bolt rifles, stalker bolt rifles. Cool. They're veterans, so they have extra attacks. They have 3 attacks base, 4 for the sergeant, 2 wounds each, 3 up armor save. Cool. Blade Guard Veteran Squad, the new guys from the box set. They are 6-inch movement, weapon skill 3 up, strength 4, toughness 4, 3 wounds, 3 attacks. The sergeant has 4 attacks. Normal guys have 3. Leadership 8, 3 up save. Blade Guard Veteran Squads are... You just see how many guys are in this. Like, it's nuts how many models are in this codex. 35 points a model base plus stuff. Company Veterans. Once again, Company Veterans are 2 wounds now, which is great. Vanguard Veteran Squad, also 2 wounds, of course. Stern Guard Veteran, also 2 wounds. Judiciar, or Judicar. Judiciar. New guy from box set. I don't know if I ever went over his points costs. 85 points a model. See, it's really easy to find out the points per model. Is that nice new chart, nice thing at the end. Reaver Squads. Aggressor Squads. Aggressor Squads kind of got hit with a nerf bat, apparently. They're not core. They are core. Sorry. The other thing... Oh, sorry. One of the other big changes is Bolter Discipline got reworded. So it's going to affect pretty much just... a couple squads, but let me just put this up here. The rules, Battleforge, match play, data sheets. Let's go through here. Sorry, it doesn't have Centurions anymore. So the new wording of Bolter Discipline is that it doesn't auto include Centurions, so they have to not move to count. They can't move and fire. Terminators are still in there, but Devastators aren't. So that's kind of big. Let me see here. Can't find it at the moment. Sorry. But that's okay. As I said, that's the rule. Angels of Death. Bolter Discipline. Here we go. So, once again, it's the normal rules for rapid-fire weapons. Models in these units shooting rapid-fire bolt weapons make double the number of attacks of any of the following. The shooting model's target is within half range. The shooting model is infantry, excluding Centurion models. And its unit remained stationary in your previous movement phase, or the shooting model is a Terminator or biker. So, Centurions can only, to my knowledge, right, because it says the shooting model is infantry, and its unit remained stationary. So that doesn't mean, it says excluding Centurions, so Centurions don't get it if they remain stationary. They don't basically get it because they're not a Terminator or biker, and so they can only get the double shots from half range, which is a huge nerf to Centurions. And grav weapons only do maximum 2 damage. So, I kicked the chair. So Centurion Devastators are actually one of the losers of the Codex. There's Terminator Assault Squads, which are lightning claws, but each time the bear fights, it makes 1 additional attack with its weapon. Each time an attack is made with its weapon, you can reroll to wound roll, right? So Assault Terminator Squads, which are now 3 wounds each, which makes them incredibly scary. Personally, I would actually take a normal Terminator Squad over a Assault Terminator Squad, typically, because I think Terminators are just going to camp on objectives and score you points, because your opponent will either have to focus really, really heavy shooting at them, or just, I don't know, either try to take the objective from them with troops, or just shoot them with 1,000,000 shots and hopefully they die. Terminators did go up in cost a little bit. Terminators are now, the amount of models, Terminators are now 38 points a model. Terminator Assault Squad is 33 points per model. Relic Terminator Squad, Centurion Assault Squad, which as I mentioned are not core, so no buffering to them either. Invictor Tactical Warsuit, which has a wound stat line as well. At 7+ wounds, it has movement 10 inches, ballistic skill weapon skill 3, strength 7, toughness 6, 13 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 8, 3 up save, but that's the lowest one. Lowest bracket, which is 1 to 3 wounds, only 6-inch movement, weapon skill 5 up, ballistic skill 5 up, strength 7, toughness 6, 4 wounds, leadership 8, 3 up save. I still think it's going to be pretty, the Invictor will, yeah, the Warsuit's going to be awesome. Dreadnought, Contemptor Dreadnought, Venerable Dreadnought. Yep. I don't remember if they used to have Duty Eternal. Maybe they did. Each time an attack is allocated to this model, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of the attack to a minimum of 1. That's cool for Venerables. Ironclads, which have you reroll hit rolls of 1. If it is equipped with an Ironclad combat weapon, Duty Eternal, and explodes. Redemptor Dreadnought, which is still going to be very, very strong. That's it. So for the fast attacks, Assault Squads. As I mentioned, Assault Squads are going to be powerful. 12-inch movement is scary. 2 wounds is scary. They're only 18 points a model. So for 18 points a model, you can have a squad of, I would personally take a squad of 10, fly them around. You can do a lot of damage. Yeah. They fly, so they can fly over terrain. They have 2 wounds. They can land on objectives, take them. Excuse me. That's just scary. Outrider Squad, which is the new bikers. They are 14-inch movement. Weapon skill 3 up, strength 4, toughness 5, 4 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 7, 3 up save. So that's cool. The other thing is, when they assault in, they get 2 plus 2 attacks. They get 4 attacks each on the charge. You can turbo boost, and if they're Raven Wing, it does say if they're Dark Angel, if you're doing it in a Dark Angels group, you can just add the word Raven Wing to them. The new vehicle to the fast attack is the Invader ATV Squad. I like them a lot. Of course, the new things are going to be amazing. I do think the greatest new thing is definitely the little gun platform. I'll go over that after. That to me is the cheese. Yeah, that's going to be what people are going to be spamming, I think, is going to be taking 9 Fire Strike servo turrets. We'll go over that after. That's the one at all cost gamers. Prepare to spend $360 Canadian and buy 9 of them. The Invader ATV squad, though, it's pretty cool. It's very survivable. It's point-wise, it's good. For its point cost, let's compare that to a... so fast attack, as I said, you can take the attack bike squad. So a bike squad is 30 points a model, right, as I mentioned. The Invader ATV squad is 80 points a model. And compare that to a... let's compare it to an Outrider squad, because that's a very good thing. Outrider squads are 45 points per model. So you get more than double point. So just over, the points. You get 2 Outrider bikes for every 1 Invader ATV. But same movement, 14 inches. Same weapon skill, 3 up. Strength 4, toughness 5, but 8 wounds. So for slightly less than double the number of models, right? So you get 8. So for 90 points, you get 2 bikes with a combined 8 wounds. For 80 points, you get the ATV with 8 wounds. 4 attacks, so double the attacks. Cool. Strength 7, AP 3. Save 3 up. You can take up to 3 of them in a squad. So once again, very survivable. You take 3 squads of 3, and so each squad has 24 wounds with a 3-up armor save that you can probably duck and get some cover. I don't know. Shenanigans. Becomes incredibly survivable, right, with a 3-up save. So you jump on objectives and you camp, or you drive around, take other objectives. Like, it's all about objectives. They come standard with a bolt pistol, onslaught Gatling cannon, twin auto bolt rifle, frag grenades, crack grenades. Which the onslaught Gatling cannon is 24-inch range, heavy 8, strength 5, 8 minus 1 damage. Twin auto bolt rifle, 24-inch range, assault 6, strength 4, AP nothing, 1 damage. They also have turbo boost, Raven Wing if you take them that. They have Angels of Death. They are not core, but they're considered biker. That's a strong fast attack. And then we have bike squads, which have 3 wounds each too, right? Like, bike squads are... this is just scary stuff. Bike squads are 30 points a model, right? So for 90 points, once again, 9 wounds. It's just crazy how many wounds you can get in these points. Scout bike squad, they only have 2 wounds, as I mentioned. Attack bike squad, same as before. Suppressor squad, right? The guys with jump packs, they can fly, and they also have the heavy guns. Inceptor squad, the bolters. Land speeders. So there are 3. So the land speeder tornadoes. There's now different types of land speeders, which I thought was kind of cool. And these aren't even the new land speeders, I'm pretty sure. These are just names of land speeders. No, they are. They're the 2 new land speeders. Primaris land speeders? There we go. Yes. So they're called storm speeders. And then there's 3 storm speeders and 3 land speeders. So the 3 storm speeders, this is once again the new Intercessor, storm speeder, the new Primaris land speeder. There's 3 versions. The best one is the Thunderstrike, in my opinion. We'll go over them in a second. But there's the Hail Strike, the Thunderstrike, and the Hammer Strike. The Hail Strike, now they all have the same stat line, other than ballistic skill. So the normal stat line is 14-inch movement at full wounds. Weapon skill 3 up, ballistic skill 3 up, strength 5, toughness 6, 10 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 7, 3 up save. The Thunderstrike has a better ballistic skill at every category. So rather than 3, 4, 5, it has 2, 3, 4. So it hits a lot more, right? That being said, so the 3 points costs are the Storm Speeder, 150, 170 for the Hammer Strike, 175 for the Thunder Strike. But the Thunder Strike is the best one. This is for 5 points more. Plus war gear. So, Storm Speeder Hail Strike comes with 2 frag grenade launchers, which are Assault D6, 18-inch range, Strength 4, AP nothing, D1, Blast. Onslaught Gatling Cannon, 2 Iron Hull Heavy Stubbers, which are 36-inch range, heavy 8, strength 4, AP -1, D1. So this is like tons of little firepower. I don't think it serves a purpose in this codex because Space Marines, by definition, are full of strength 4 firepower, right? All the bolters, all those little guns. I don't think this Land Speeder Storm, I don't think this Storm Speeders is serving much of a purpose, right? It's also shooting a bunch of strength 4 guns when the whole other rest of the codex, you know, all the base troops will be shooting strength 4 guns. I just don't see it being needed. The Thunderstrike, though, is instead it has better ballistic skill. It has Storm Fury missiles, Thunderstrike Las Talon, Twin Icarus rocket pod. So, Storm Fury missiles, 48-inch range, heavy 1, strength 10, AP -1, D6. Heavy hitting gun, right? This thing could hurt some tanks. Serves a purpose. Heavy warfare. And it's in the fast attack slot. So you can take 3 of these and it shoots a lot of heavy, right? Because you can take, no, it's 1 per squad. Okay. But still, it's a fast attack that has a heavy, really heavy weapons. It serves a purpose. It really does. The Thunderstrike Las Talon is 36-inch range, heavy 2, strength 9, AP -3, D6, once again. So you are 3 heavy weapon shots that are pretty nice. And then Icarus, Twin Icarus rocket pod, 24-inch range, heavy 2D6, sorry, heavy 2D3, sorry, 2D6 would be insane, heavy 2D3, strength 7, AP -1, 2 damage. And each time it's blast, and each time an attack is made with this weapon against an aircraft unit, add 1 to the attack's hit roll. This really serves a purpose. I think this is the best one by far. It has Angel's Death, Raven Wing, if you take it as a Dark Angels. I'm just going to grab a drink here. Yeah. So as you can see, Thunderstrike 1 infinitely better than Hailstrike. Then there's Hammerstrike. So Hammerstrike has Hammerstrike Missile Launcher, which is heavy 2, 36-inch range, strength 8, AP -3, 3 damage. Also has 2 Crackstorm Grenade Launchers, which are 18-inch range, assault 1, strength 6, AP -1, DD3. Okay. Doesn't serve much of a purpose there. And then a Melter Destroyer, 24-inch range, heavy 3, strength 8, AP -4, DD6. And it was, this is cool. Each time an attack made with this weapon targets a unit within half range, that attack has a damage characteristic of D6 + 2. So rather than roll 2 dice and take the best, D6 + 2 brings it up to potentially 8 damage. That's pretty cool. So the Hammerstrike's awesome too. I don't really like the Crackstorm Grenade Launcher, but you know, from 12-inch range, the Hammerstrike's pretty cool too. You know? But I really like the Thunderstrike is my favorite one, but the Hammerstrike's good too. Hailstrike, whatever. Then there's Land Speeders. Land Speeder Tornadoes, which have heavy flamers and multi-multas. Land Speeder Typhoons, which have multi-multa heavy bolter Typhoon missile launchers. Yep, and then, so as I said, there's 3 versions of the Land Speeders. Then there's the Hellblaster Squad. They have their, plasma weapons. You can take whichever plasma weapon you want. And now they're all just plasma weapon. And it says in the rules about plasma weapon, any unmodified hit roll of 1 are made for attacks with this weapon. The bear is slain. Excuse me. So, yeah, they kill themselves. It's fun. Eliminator Squad. That's heavy support. Obviously, they're not in the fast attack. So that's the fast attack. Heavy support, Hellblaster Squad, Eliminator Squad, Centurion Devastator Squad, which is, in my opinion, the most nerfed squad in the Codex from the last edition. They really, their Hurricane Bolters have become much less efficient because the Bolter discipline doesn't give them the 12 shots. Those are half-inch range, and they're not core, so they don't get any buffs. They still have 4 wounds, but to be honest, and grav weapons only do maximum 2 damage if the whatever they're shooting has a 3-up armor save or better. Only does 2 damage. So, yeah. They do ignore cover, which is cool. And they don't suffer the penalty if they fire heavy weapons and moved. But still. The Eradicator Squad, which is just the best thing from the new box set, is the Eradicator Squad with their Melta rifles. and there's also a heavy melter rifle. So there's a melter rifle and a heavy melter rifle. So the melter rifle is 24-inch range, heavy 1, strength 8, AP -4, D6 plus 2, which is nuts. Each time an attack made with this weapon targets a unit within half range, that attack has a damage characteristic of D6 plus 4. What? So up to 10 damage per... What? Okay. And they can fire twice if they haven't advanced this turn. Yeah. And they can fire twice this... Oh my goodness. They fire twice the same squad. Or there's a melter rifle, which is 24-inch range, assault 1, strength 8, AP -4, D6, and it's D6 plus 2 if it's within half range. Right? These guys are scary stuff. The thing is, this codex is just so filled to the nines with scary, scary units. It's going to be very interesting to see what the competitive meta brings out in this codex. I still think they're going to be scary. Same with Devastators. Devastator squads are going to be scary too, because you can just take a bunch of last cannons. Devastators now have 2 wounds each. That's pretty scary stuff. Thunderfire cannon. Fire strike servo turrets. These are the new guys, and I think they're the best thing in the codex. I really do. They're going to be, I think, I could be wrong, but I think that's going to be the win-all-cost gamer spam unit, is the Fire Strike Servo Turrets. The reason is, they come with 2 different combinations. Let me go over the points cost with you. The Fire Strike Servo Turrets are 90 points or 130. So they're 90 points for the Twin Accelerator Autocannon version. And remember, these things are movement 3 inches, weapon skill 3 up, ballistic skill 2 up, so they're hitting on 2s. Strength 4, toughness 5, 5 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 8, 2 up save. You can take up to 3 more per squad. Scary, scary stuff. So for base 90 points, you get Twin Accelerator Autocannon, which is 48-inch range, heavy 6, strength 7, AP -1, 2 damage. So 6 shots, statistically 5 of them hitting. Strength 7, AP -1, 2 damage each. These things are going to be a very good answer to killing Space Marines. They're going to kill Space Marines, and they're going to kill pretty much everything, right? For every failed armor save, 2 damage, which is pretty nice. Nasty for 90 points a model. You can take 9 of them in a competitive army for 810 points. And there's your heavy support choices taken up, but that's a lot of firepower. The other choice is 130 points per model. You get a Twin Last Talon, which is 24-inch range, so a lot shorter range. Heavy 4, strength 9, AP -3, DD6 damage. That's really scary too, right? Really, really scary. Imagine 9 of those. They're just going to pick apart things. Right? These are an answer to, if your opponent takes Terminators, you take 9 of these and you have a bunch of dead Terminators. For every failed is, every failed 5-up is a DD6 damage. 2/3 chance of killing them, a Terminator. So that's pretty nasty. And, yeah, right? Imagine if they're, like, Imperial Fist, they ignore cover. So, that, in my opinion, is the scariest new thing in the heavy support choice, is the Fire Strike Servo Turrets. I think they're going to be pretty insane. And then there's, of course, Hunter, Stalker, Whirlwind, Predator Destructor, Predator Annihilator, Gladiator Lancer, Gladiator Reaper, Gladiator Valiant, Vindicator, Land Raider. And as I said, each one of these now has wound brackets: Land Raider Crusader, Land Raider Redeemer, Land Raider Repulsor, Repulsor Executioner. The Repulsor Executioner is 300 points base, I'm pretty sure. 355 base. So they're getting pretty expensive. So if people want to take 3 of them, go ahead. They're not core, so you can't bring that cheese anymore. So they got slightly nerfed. And they have brackets, as do all the other things. So, yeah. Obviously, they were so powerful, you had to assume that they'd get nerfed at some point. Rhino, Razorback, Impulsors, Drop Pods, Land Spear Storms, and Stormhawk Interceptors. Sorry, my Storm Interceptor goes with the dedicated transports. And as I mentioned, Rhino Razorbacks have wound brackets now. At full strength, it's 12-inch movement. Weapon skill 6 up, ballistic skill 3 up, strength 6, toughness 7. 10 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 8. But if you knock them down wounds, eventually they're only hitting on 5 ups, which is pretty big for the Razorbacks, which have las cannons or, heavy bolters. Impulsor, yeah, as I said. Stormhawk Interceptor, Storm Talon, Storm Raven are the flyers, and the new Hammerfall Bunker. It is it's of course your, it's a cool new building with a lot of guns, a lot of firepower. So it has a wound characteristics, and it affects only their ballistic skills, 4, 5, 6, depending on what bracket it's in. Strength 6, toughness 8, 14 wounds to begin with, leadership 7, 3 up save. A Hammerfall Bunker is base... it's 175 points. So it's equipped with Hammerfall Heavy Bolter Array, Hammerfall Missile Launchers. And this is cool. Hammerfall Heavy Bolter Array is 36 range, Heavy 3, Strength 5, AP -1, D2. The Heavy Flamer Array, you can upgrade, you can change this Heavy Bolter Array to a Heavy Flamer Array, which is 12-inch range, Heavy D6, Strength 5, AP -1, D1, and obviously auto hits. And there's also a Hammerfall Missile Launcher. And before selecting targets, select one of the profiles. 72-inch range, which is scary. It's either Heavy 2d6 or Heavy 2. The Heavy 2d6 is Strength 6, AP nothing, D1, Blast. Big whoop. Again, fulfilling the rules, but there's a cool thing I'm going to go over in a second. Or Super Crack Missile, Heavy 2, Strength 10, AP -2, D6. Defensive Array. In your shooting phase, each time this model is selected to shoot, its Hammerfall Heavy Bolter Array or its Hammerfall Heavy Flamer Array can target and resolve attacks against every eligible enemy unit. Each time this model fires Overwatch, it only resolves attacks with its weapons against the charging unit, and when it does so, the type of its Hammerfall Heavy Bolter Array is changed to Heavy 6, and the type of its Hammerfall Heavy Flamer Array is changed to Heavy 2d6. So if I read this correctly, each time this model, in your shooting phase, each time this model is selected to shoot, its Hammerfall Heavy Bolter Array or its Hammerfall Heavy Flamer Array can target and resolve attacks against every eligible enemy unit. So if you take the heavy bolters, you can fire everything that's in range. Every squad gets fired against with 3 shots that's eligible. That to me is insane. That's nuts. That's crazy to me. Am I reading that incorrectly? Leave comments in the comment section below. Am I reading this correctly for the Hammerfall Bunker? Because if I am, that's going to slow down the game to nothing, because 3 shots against every squad of your opponent, that's within 36-inch range of the... it can see. It's crazy. Yeah. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. So, that's cool. And then as I said, and then there's a weapon profiles page and all the extra rules. But that's it. That's it in a nutshell. Right? As I said, I'm not going to go over the relics and all the specific things. That's all I've been going after. People are going to find the cheese in this codex. Overall thoughts, this is an insanely solid codex. This has to be the best Space Marine Codex ever. It has just a mind-blowing amount of choices in this codex. Right? For HQs, there's 15 choices, and each one's a variant of the same thing. You have types of dreadnoughts and vehicles and the troops choices. Every one of them is viable. Every one of them, depending on what you want to do. Every one of them is viable. Tactical Marines are awesome. The Primaris Marines are awesome. Everything's awesome. Everything's survivable. Everything is... This codex is going to be a meta changer, and I really do feel that either people are going to bring Space Marines to tournament, or list tailor insanely to deal with Space Marines at a tournament. And so we'll see what happens, right? Maybe that means an Orc army could win. I don't know. But this Codex is just crammed with insanity. Biggest winner of the Codex, normal Marines. 2 wounds each now. Terminators, 3 wounds. The new, out of all the new awesomeness, I think, you know, this new Storm Speeder's cool. I really like the new gun platform guys. I think that's pretty powerful for 90 points, the autocannon version. I think they might be spammed. This Codex is just solid. It's filled with amazing choices. Somebody's going to take this and run with it. And there's so many different variants that people could run with this Codex, seeing as that just the amount of choices. This is going to be a very competitive Codex, and I think it's going to shape the meta for a while. And for 9th edition, it sets the tone. What do you think? Leave comments in the comment section down below what you thought about my video. What do you think about the new Codex? What are your thoughts? What do you think? Let's create a discussion in the comment section down below. As always, this video is brought to you by my Patreon campaign. Link in the description below if you want to help support my Patreon campaign. As you can see, their names go by my heads, but huge thank you to all my Patreon subscribers, because then I can set this time aside and make these videos. I really do hope you appreciate it and like this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you already have done so, and stay tuned for more Codex reviews. I love making them, and I'm going to keep doing them. Next time, Necrons. It's going to be cool. So stay tuned for more Codex reviews. Until next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting.